Hello, everyone. My name is Yosi Shavit. I serve as the head of ICS Cybersecurity Department in the Ministry of Environmental Protection. I came all the way from Israel just to share some information that I gathered in the last 4.5 years from very hard, deep field work in the industry in Israel, especially in the hazardous materials industry. Looking back to CyberTech 2020 in Tel Aviv, I stood on a stage and I promised to promote cyber regulation in Israel in the field of hazardous materials industry and to publish a new methodology to fulfill or to support this regulation. And I can say today, very clear, that mission complete. Mission complete because the first plant in Israel received cyber regulation on June 2020. June 2020, the first one, and since then, dozens of factories in Israel received actually cyber regulation to protect themselves against cyber attack. And 2021 gonna be a very important year for us. We're going to add hundreds of factories. So I have just 7 minutes to explain the regulation and the methodology, so we'll start. Okay. Okay, let's start. Many people or many experts every day ask me what the connection between environmental protection and cyber. You in the environmental protection ministry, you hug trees, you take care of flowers, you clean the seashores. What about cyber? So if you look at this article from 2 months ago, February 9, 2021, you can see what's the connection between cyber and environmental protection. February 9, 2021, hacker breaks into Florida water treatment facility and changed the chemical level. Actually, increased the amount of NaOH, very dangerous material, 10 times than the required amount of this material. Disaster. So what can we do in hazardous materials and with cybersecurity? So we can change pressure, temperatures, flow rate, pH levels. You can hack into ERP system. We can damage production system and changing the composition of materials. We can hack into storage and inventory, and we can also send hazardous materials to the wrong destination. I can send fertilizer to a hospital instead of medicines. We can change the formula. If I can control the HMI station that you can see here, I can change actually the formula and I can get different medicine than planned. The scenario that can occur in hazardous materials, we look at 3 main scenarios. The first one is dispersion of toxins, and we measure it in ppm, how many particles in the air of the dangerous material, like ammonia and others. The second scenario, the effect of flammable materials. It's measured in unit of radiation. And the third one, explosion effect, measured in unit of pressure. We have more than 4,000 businesses that we regulate in Israel. All of them receive toxin permit from the Ministry of Environmental Protection once a year. And we're adding cyber condition in this regulation. So the two important news for today, first, the new cyber regulation, and the second one is new ICS cyber methodology for the hazardous materials industry. As far as I know, as I checked, is the first one in the world that publish this cyber guide. You can download it from our site, and it's the first one. You can learn how to do risk assessment, and you can do how to protect your industry. So the toxin permit, the regulation actually imposed by a mechanism called toxin permit. As you see here, every plant in Group A have to renew it every 1 year, and we add additional cyber condition in this toxin permit. This toxin permit is by law, it's based on national hazardous materials law since 1993. This is the cyber guide. You can see how to do risk assessment, work plan for the factories, list of recommended control, and all what you need to do cyber protection in OT networks, in SCADA networks, not IT, but OT. The work plan for every plant, as you see here, consists of 7 stages. The first, second, and third one, risk assessment, and then you apply controls in order to raise the resilience of the plant. So how we calculate the risk of the assets? So if you look at this equation, we took it from the INCD, Israel National Cyber Directorate, and we follow this risk equation. We know how to calculate the impact by special Excel sheet that we have developed, and you know how to calculate the probability, and then we know how to calculate the risk. If we know the risk, we know what controls we have to apply. Here you can see the Excel sheet for calculating the probability of cyber attack. Another Excel sheet for calculating the impact calculated from chemical terms, not IT terms, but chemical terms, and you can know how to do that. And if you know the risk, as you see here, the risk is 12, so I go directly to the heat map and know what control level package I have to apply to the system in order to raise its resilience. For example, if the risk is 12, so you have to put 81 controls. You can have all the list of controls in the cyber guide. Here you can have it. It's here. You have 4 levels of controls, from the green one to the red one, the most risky, and you can do it yourself. As you see, the controls based on people, process, technology, as other people here said. 2 challenges. The first one, we're talking about separating IT and OT network, and the big problem is that the CISO is in charge of the IT network, but the operation manager is kind of CISO of the OT network, and the big challenge is to cooperate between them and to make them work together. This is the key of success. So that's what I'm doing. Every week, at least 2 or 3 times a week, I go to the production floor, to industry, and try to do that. The second challenge, it's ICS security, lack of expertise. We don't have many people who know to do the work. Unfortunately, you need to know IT. You need to know IT security, firewalls, content filtering, some other products. You have to know also OT. You have to know what is controller. You have to know what is HMI station. And you have to know what is the security of the controller. And we have to be here in the red little point here. We have to be IT and OT cybersecurity expert, but it's not enough for us. 1 minute. It's not enough for us because we like this guy to know hazardous materials because you calculate the impact from that knowledge. So we now build a new profession. We call it maybe cyber ecologist. That's it. I'm very happy to be here. It's proud to be here, and I'm happy to answer all the questions. If you will have any questions, you can send me mail. You can get this guide, and you can get another Excel sheet to calculate all what you need, and I'm free for you. Thank you very much.